Imagine you were diagnosed with a mental illness. What would life be like? Undoubtedly, you'd face challenges, but what do you think would be your greatest challenge? Perhaps the stigma, the strong medications, or maybe the symptoms of the illness itself. What might surprise you is that many Ontarians living with mental illness have cited something quite different as their biggest challenge: poverty. Many of them are reliant for their income on a government program called the Ontario Disability Support Program, also known as ODSP. 35% of people on ODSP have a mental illness, and they typically receive $1,075 per month or less to live on. The average ODSP recipient is several $1,000s below the low-income cutoff. The people you are about to meet have all had experience with both mental illness and poverty.
I was working in a very well-paid job for a long number of years. And then because of my mental health issues, I lost that job and became virtually homeless overnight. To go from a high earning position to being homeless like this was very shocking to my whole system, including my mental health.
When I feel broke, I feel desperate. I feel kind of panicky, and that's not good for me as I struggle with anxiety.
Because if you don't have the money to do things, it's hard to get up there and be able to manage.
Okay. And how does that affect your mental health when you can't do things?
It makes you feel isolated. It makes you feel like you can't go out there and spread your wings and do a whole bunch of things.
My diet since I became mentally ill has changed. I try to eat as many fruits and vegetables as possible, but sometimes I can't always afford the right foods. And it makes me lethargic when I don't eat the right foods.
One other area poverty really does affect people is in the stress of trying to make ends meet month to month, not knowing if you're going to have enough to pay the next month's rent, not knowing if you're going to be able to put dinner on the table. All those stresses, if you're already living with a mental health issue, can often send people over the edge and even back into hospital. And even to levels of unwellness that they previously wouldn't have had to endure had they had the money to provide for themselves. So it also takes away people's hope. When every day is just a constant worry of the basic needs, it's hard to move beyond the basic needs.
When you're really poor, either you live in a room somewhere, and a lot of those situations are not good, or you end up living in some form of supportive housing or rent geared to income. And those situations tend to be monoculture, not healthy, and stigmatizing. Because if you live in a building where everybody's poor or everyone has mental illness, all the people in the neighborhood know that that's the crazy house.
They also need to allow us to earn and keep more money because we're mentally ill. I mean, we get sick and it's already been documented. We're not trying to swindle the government.
I'd like to do away with ODSP. I think there should be a guaranteed annual income. People would receive a top-up on the basis of their income tax return. They wouldn't have to necessarily identify themselves as mental health consumers.
People with mental health and/or addiction issues do and can recover. If you have proper food to eat, a proper place to sleep every night, all of these things are not causing anxiety in your mind day in and day out, hour by hour, minute by minute, then you can concentrate on getting back to the mainstream of society and becoming a productive member of society again.
In other words, one of the most effective tools to help people with mental illness to recover is to end poverty.